Right, so what we're going to do today is actually a revision of all the P3, many of the P3, P4 topics. Right, so we'll start with life sciences, so things like your life cycle, diversity, plant and human systems. We'll go on to the first question. Right, so Ray found two organisms apart and concluded they were both insects. So what are the reasons why he is wrong? Some of you are privately messaged. Okay, so it's correct. Right, so there are primarily two reasons why it is incorrect, right? So you must say that insects have 6 legs, right? And the second one is insects have 3 body parts, right? Right, so this is your answer for the first question. Right, after the second one, part B has a outer covering. So for your hard outer covering, there are primarily two acceptable answers. Right, so the first one is to protect the softer, right, and the second one is to prevent the internal organs from drying up. Right, so this will be it. Okay, so your hint, right, is to realize that because there is a fruit over here, right? So this must be your parent plant. And then this starts off as your young. Right? So once you do that, it becomes very obvious already. Okay? Okay, Ken. So most of you all got correct. So the answers for A, right, will be your DABE. So once you follow the sequence of the young plant, right? Okay, then you just get your answer. Right? And then you realize that after E, you will go back to C again. Right? The young plant becomes an adult itself again. Right? Then it'll bear fruit, then it'll repeat the whole process, right? So this will become a life cycle. Okay, so for B, James planted the seed D in a pot and then observed it after 5 days, right? So for germination to occur, these are your 3 factors that you will need, right? Which is your WOW. So you need to explain the seed. So of course the next one is food. Okay, so the thing about food, right? You don't typically write food as required for germination because the seed already has the food. Right, so food is the given that is already inside the seed. Right, so the warmth, oxygen, and water, right, are things that are external to the seed. Right, things that the seed does not have by itself and requires for it to germinate, which is why you need your WOW. So this will be your answer for part B. Okay, so we'll go on to part C and D. Right, so James also planted the plant. Right, so after 3 weeks, you need to explain that it would wither and die. Okay, so for this, it's actually a 2-mark question. Right, so there's also a second part, but it's not so much about the length, right? It's more important that you actually have all the important keywords and use the correct writing structure for your question. Okay, so we'll go on to the next one for part B. Right, at which stage it is an adult plant, right? So you need to say that it is C and E, right? That will be your answer for D. Right, so you need to write C as there is fruit observed and E as there is flower observed. Right, so adult plant is at a stage where it can reproduce, right, which is when it can bear flower and fruit. Okay, so with that, you'll have the answer for 9. Right, so those who are done, just let me know what's your answer for 10A. Okay, and 10B.